He had always feared instability. Life, for him, was a series of carefully controlled plans, each step measured and mapped. Yet no matter how hard he tried, the world refused to follow his schedule. Work changed, friends moved away, opportunities slipped through his fingers. Every evening, he returned home exhausted, his mind replaying failures and mishaps, each one a gust of wind threatening to snuff out the fragile flame of his hope. One night, during a particularly violent storm, he sought shelter near an ancient temple on the edge of his village. The wind howled, rattling the wooden doors and twisting the trees into grotesque shapes. He was drawn inside not only by the need for refuge, but by the sense that he might find answers to the emptiness gnawing at him. Inside, the temple was warm, the flicker of countless candles casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. And there, sitting calmly before a single, tall candle, was an elderly monk. His robes were simple, his presence unshakable. The man could not explain why, but he felt an immediate sense of trust. "You are frightened," the monk said softly, as if reading his very soul. "The wind terrifies you, but it is not the wind you fear. It is the fragility within your own heart." The man shivered. "Fragility? I have worked my whole life to be strong, yet everything feels so fragile." The monk nodded and gestured to the candle. "Watch it. Tell me, what do you see?" The man stared at the flame, its light quivering against the gusts from the open window. "I see a flame, small, vulnerable. It could be blown out at any moment." The monk's eyes twinkled. "Exactly. And yet, despite the wind it burns, life is much like this candle. The storms will come, others will try to extinguish your light, and you, like this flame, must learn how to endure." He laughed bitterly. "How? It feels impossible. Every time I try to protect myself, the wind grows stronger." The monk smiled gently. "Endurance is not about shielding yourself from the storm. It is about learning how to burn within it. Let the wind touch you, but do not fear it. Let the gusts teach you resilience." The man sat silently watching the candle flicker and dance, struggling to absorb the lesson. Night after night, he returned, enduring increasingly powerful storms that seemed to follow him to the temple. Each time, the monk would instruct him to focus on the candle, to observe how it wavered but persisted, how even in the gusts its essence remained. Weeks passed. Slowly, the man began to understand. Life's challenges, failures, betrayals, losses were not enemies to be avoided. They were the wind, shaping and testing him. Strength, he realized, was not the absence of fear, but the courage to continue despite it. And hope, like the candle, burned brightest when threatened. One night, during a particularly fierce storm, the man was asked to light a new candle and place it near the temple's open window. The wind immediately leapt at it, threatening to snuff it out. The man instinctively shielded it with his hands, but the monk shook his head. "Do not fight the wind," he instructed. "Allow it to touch your flame. Balance, breathe, focus. Let the fire find its own strength." Heart-pounding, the man followed the advice. He let the wind push at the flame, guiding it gently with his steady focus. Hours passed. Slowly, the candle stabilized, burning brightly despite the gale. In that moment, he felt a surge of understanding ripple through him. Courage was not about control. Resilience was not about avoidance. Strength came from allowing life to touch him while maintaining his inner light. The monk placed a hand on his shoulder. "Your candle, like your heart, will always face storms. But the more you let yourself endure, the stronger your light becomes. Never forget this lesson. The hero's transformation was gradual but undeniable. He returned to his village differently, moving through life with calmness where once there had been panic, patience where once there had been impatience. Even in the face of unexpected hardship, he remembered the candle, its fragile glow that persisted in the wind, and he found comfort and courage in that image. And now, a question for you watching this story. What is your candle? What in your life feels fragile, threatened, or at risk? How are you letting the wind, the challenges, fears, and obstacles shape you? Pause and reflect. One small action today, like focusing on your inner strength or facing a fear directly, can be the moment your candle learns to burn stronger than ever. If this story inspired you, hit the subscribe button to join us on more journeys of transformation. Share in the comments what your candle is and how you plan to protect it while letting life's wind teach you resilience. Your courage may inspire someone else to face their own storm. From that day onward, the man no longer feared life's gales. He learned that a candle's flame is never weak, it is simply untested. And as he faced the world with steady focus, he discovered that the storms themselves became teachers, the wind itself became a partner, and the flame within him grew brighter than he had ever imagined. The wind still blew, challenges still came, but he had learned the secret. To endure, to shine, and to remain unbroken, one must simply allow the storm to pass through while keeping the inner flame alive. And that flame, once kindled by understanding and courage, could never be extinguished.